Welcome back to One Winning Pod, where we have for you today the 2023 Vignettes. It's our opportunity to say something nice, make a nice memory about each player that contributed to this team. There are a few left off that did have technical snaps, but maybe didn't record any actual stats. You got to pick our battles here sometimes. But this is really, I think, pretty darn inclusive. We talk about some deep guys, deep cuts. So it's important to be complete, because we really do think that a team is made up of everybody. Like, they truly do matter. You never know what they do in the locker room. You never know what they said to somebody else to pick them up, so they could achieve on the field, etc. So it's a full effort.
Yeah, absolutely. We did this at the end of last season, if anyone recalls listening to that one, Alex's idea, and I thought it was a pretty good one. So yeah, we'll look at it, and it's good. It's obviously a year without a Super Bowl win. There's always a little bit of a bitter taste in our mouths. So a lot of us aren't over the win. I mean, excuse me, the loss. The loss. Wish it was a win. But a lot of good happened this year. I think everyone's allowed to feel how they want to feel about it. I don't think you're free feelings, but yeah, I think we like to spin positive on this pod when we're able to. So this seems like a great way to send off the year, because after this episode, it'll all be forward on the 2024 content.
I don't think I have anything to add. You want to kick it off with Mr. Jackson, Alec?
One Mr. Jackson, right. MVP. Lamar, you came back with a new contract in hand, and you led the Ravens to an AFC-leading 13-4 record. Your knack for evading pressure and extending the play led to many primetime heroics that catapulted you to another MVP season.
Tyler Huntley, you got the honor of throwing OBJ's first career touchdown as a Raven and played well on the bit of mop-up duty that you were called on for.
Josh Johnson, you gave the Ravens valuable roster fungibility in order to activate Keaton Mitchell from injured reserve.
Gus Bus, you were a beast at the goal line, true to your name, finishing tied for 5th in the NFL with 13 rushing touchdowns, which was a career high, and provided a hard-nosed running between the tackles all season long.
Justice Hill, you were a reliable, dependable running back, especially down the stretch and into the playoffs. While Keaton took a lot of your snaps mid-season, you didn't complain and continued to ball, especially on special teams.
Keaton Mitchell, you were a shot in the arm to an offense desperate for more explosive plays. We have no doubt that you would have done even more if it hadn't been for the injury. Can't wait for your return.
J.K. Dobbins, in some ways, your story mirrors the 2023 Ravens. It's a story of what ifs. That said, we hope you're able to get your body and mind healthy after another heartbreaking season-ending injury.
Odell Beckham Jr., you came back from a year out of the game and showed that even though you've been in the league a while, you still got that dog in you and could be that reliable vet guy when called upon.
Zay Flowers, you had the best statistical year of any rookie wide receiver in Ravens history and consistently made big-time plays in clutch situations.
Rashad Bateman, you came back from a frustrating injury that lingered and showed improvement every month, becoming a reliable part of the offense as the season progressed.
Nelson Aguilar, your number wasn't called often, but you routinely were ready when it was and stepped up in key situations all season long. I don't know what people were complaining about with those hands. They were great.
Devin Duvernay, you weren't called upon like in years past, but you continued to battle and had one of the most important plays of the season in your big opening second-half kickoff return, which started the Ravens' dominant win in the divisional round.
Continuing with big heroics, Tylan Wallace, you came up huge with a walk-off punt return to seal the game against a surging Rams team.
Laquan Treadwell, you got the last catch needed to make the 2023 Ravens the first team to have 5 first-round receivers record a reception in a year.
Mark Andrews, you continued your standard of excellence and fought to come back early from mid-season injury to try and put your team over the top for a Super Bowl.
Isaiah Likely, it took some time, but you remained patient and took full advantage of your opportunity when thrust into it due to Mark Andrews' injury.
Charlie Kohler, you scored your first career touchdown and stepped up to provide great tight end 2 play after Mark Andrews' injury.
Patrick Ricard, you proved the narrative that you were just a product of a Greg Roman scheme wrong and reinvented yourself as a key member of the new offensive scheme.
Ryan Stanley, You battled week in and week out when it was clear Bai was never 100% and put together one of the best performances of your career against Houston to help launch Baltimore into the AFC Championship game.
John Simpson, you were one of John Harbaugh's favorite success stories this season, overcoming adversity to earn the starting job and keep it all season, and you became a dad.
Tyler Linderbaum, you came into your own after a promising rookie season, making the Pro Bowl and anchoring an aging offensive line.
Kevin Zeitler, after a rough beginning of the season, you got in a groove and provided consistently high level of play, forcing the Ravens to make a tough decision if they wanted to re-sign you.
Morgan Moses, you ate glass and played through an injury many would have missed much more time from, a top-notch teammate and player.
Patrick McCary, when Stanley went down, you were called to duty and filled in quite well. It's a real luxury to know a starting quality, versatile sixth man is available on our squad.
Daniel Falele, you grew over the back half of the season to a level that might earn you a starting right tackle job in 2025 if the Ravens do not extend Morgan Moses.
Ben Cleveland, though your time in Baltimore probably hasn't gone to plan, you filled in for Zeitler and as a sixth lineman well.
Salah, you pushed John Simpson to be his best self during training camp.
Sam Mustipher, when Linderbaum was unavailable, you provided the stability of a veteran to the position, and the offense stayed on schedule.
Over to the defense, Justin Matabike, you were a monster rushing the quarterback, smashing everyone's expectations by finishing 9th in the league and first among interior linemen in sacks.
Big vet Michael Pierce, you turned back the clock with your best season since 2019, including a career-high 6.5 stuffs for loss.
Broderick Washington, though it was a bit of a down year for you, you remained healthy all year and contributed valuable snaps to the rotation.
Travis Jones, you shined bright in the preseason and regained some of that dominance during the back half of the year. You'll be a large part of this 2024 Ravens plans and next in line for a monster breakout.
Brent Urban, always a hoot during Ravens Wired, you bring an energy to rundowns and valuable roster flexibility. I expect the Ravens to want you around as long as you'd like to continue to compete and keep your long arms clogging up the passing lanes.
Odafe Owe, you showed tremendous growth as a player that goes beyond the stat sheet and stepped up big when the young fellow edge rushers succumbed to injury.
I've got all the best guys. Roquan Smith, you became the new Ray, the physical embodiment of the long-storied Ravens defensive swagger, and led this defense with tenacity and vigor.
Queen, the perfect complement to Roquan, you put together the best season of your career by doing it all and made several highlight splash plays in the process.
Jadeveon Clowney, the disruptor. You prove you still have a lot left in the tank, living rent-free in the opponent's backfield all season while tying your career high in sacks.
Tavius Robinson, you made an incredible leap from the preseason to being called upon earlier than expected to spot start due to injuries, and showed that you will be a player in this league for years to come.
Big hit Malik Harrison. You set the edge so well and were such a valuable role player that Alec decided to buy a football signed by you as you go into free agency, which I'm sure will, when he looks back on his NFL career, that'll be what he's proudest of all time.
You might say that. Kyle Van Noy, graduate and founder of Off the Couch U on the Pat McAfee Show, you provided veteran pass rush and a strong run defense all season long.
Trenton Simpson, while there weren't any snaps for you during the competitive games this year, you showed flashes that have us excited for year two, while there likely will be snaps up for grabs.
Delshon Phillips, after being the butt of many jokes in the 2022 season, you showed dominance in the preseason and gave the team and fans confidence that you could fill in well if another inside linebacker went down.
David Ajabo, similar to Dobbins, your season was cut far too short with another tragic injury robbing you of NFL playing time. We will remember that strip sack fondly and hope for a lot more of them in a healthy 2024.
Brandon Stevens, you stepped up from solid player with a lot of potential to lockdown corner, providing elite cornerback one play throughout the season as Marlon battled through injury.
Marlowe, a season marred by unexpected and untimely lingering injuries. We know you will take care of your body and try to be your best self in 2024.
Ronald Darby, you were unknown when signed, but now all Ravens fans know your name, and your tight coverage was critical to this defense's success.
Rock Ya-Sin, though you likely assumed more playing time when signing, you provide valuable depth, leading to a cornerback room that was one of the best units in the NFL.
Arthur Millette, you manned the nickel all year, providing key stops on third down and well-timed blitzes that disrupted pass plays.
Ardarius Washington, though your season was cut short, you rose in the ranks in the preseason and provided solid nickel safety versatility that will be valuable for the team in 2024.
Jalen Armour Davis, Another year where you struggled to find the field much due to the depth around you. Hope you have a productive offseason.
Hamilton, you covered, you blitzed, you stopped the run, you scored a touchdown, you forced turnovers, you befuddled quarterbacks, you did absolutely everything and became a star in this league.
Marcus Williams is another year of injuries for you, but you battled through the entire year, even when it was clear you weren't 100%, and continued to patrol the center field in elite fashion.
Geno Stone, you stepped up big in Williams' absence, making sure that no one, including your teammates, got the ball when it came your way, finishing second in the league in picks with 7.
Darryl Worley, you battled through injuries to play significant third safety and special team snaps when we needed them most.
Justin Tucker, you were so good at your craft that a great season was seen as something to scrutinize, but you proved those takes silly with a perfect December and January, including the longest converted field goal in Ravens playoff history.
Jordan Stout, you built on your solid rookie season with a spectacular sophomore campaign, helping the Ravens time and time again maintain the upper hand in the field position battle.
Long snapper Tyler Ott, you stepped into the Wolfpack quickly when Nick Moore went down late in camp and provided a seamless special teams operation.
And honorable mentions. Melvin Gordon, you really closed out that game against Miami. And I guess Dalvin Cook. You were a guy.
You gave us hope in the divisional round, only to not be used in the championship.
Sad.
Maybe you might be back.
Dude, everyone's saying that, like, Derrick Henry will be in 2025 vignettes. Or rather, 2024 vignettes. Like, everyone's like, it's basically done. They tried to get him at the trade deadline. They're going to sign him. I think that'd be wild.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I guess it would come down to the contract. And yeah, depending on what happens with Gus too. So we'll see. Definitely a lot of questions in the off season for certain.
Indeed. Well, I guess we'll leave the off season a mystery for future. It's a shorter episode, but it's what it was supposed to be, right? Just a nice little memory. I don't know. Maybe the last thing. I don't know. You guys want to talk about, now that we're 2 weeks removed from the loss, maybe how you remember the season? Or is it still too close?
It's going to be very good. I mean, it's a very good season, but my gosh, like, yeah, it's going to be one. It's going to be one of those that hurts. It's just like 2011.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that the Ravens season wasn't ended by, a pretender team like Miami or Houston. I think that would be just completely inconsolable if the regular season that went that well ended that way. That's not to say, that, I'm just like, well, Kansas City, you're so good, so bad, we're just not that good. I mean, I can rationalize us losing to the Chiefs, but that doesn't mean, that makes it feel better. I mean, we pride the Ravens in knowing that they're capable of being the best team in the league. They were the best team in the regular season. The playoffs, they needed to do a little more to be the best team in the league. And yeah, I enjoyed watching the Super Bowl. I always enjoy watching the Super Bowl, but man, yeah, it stung watching that and just being like, it's like, I get it. I get why the Chiefs won, but man, does it feel like the Ravens are certainly capable of getting there. And yeah, it's gonna be one that we'll never fully get over. I forget who said that in the chat. It might have even been Chris. And Chris might have said
Chris.
that. We never fully get over. Like, we haven't gotten over 2011. We haven't gotten over 2006. Of course, we got that Super Bowl there that we're very happy for. We're very happy for that throw that Flacco did to Jones that fooled everyone, and that Jones was able to catch that in the breadbasket. But yeah, the ones where you feel like the team can do it and they don't is it's always tough. It's always tough.
I'm going to put this as my memories because I'll look back at the episode, right, if I ever forget. But the way I'll remember this season is this moment. We beat Miami. We get the first seed. We're leaving the stadium, and they're handing out Sun paper cover things. And the mob were crazy trying to get it, and I tried real hard, and the guy got down to the end, and he was just going to give it out to children. Totally makes sense. Respect that. So I walked away. Didn't try to find one because I said, if it ends up mattering, I'll have one saying that we're going to the Super Bowl. And it didn't matter. So now 2019's first place one from the stadium will continue to be in that frame on the wall instead. So I said it wouldn't matter. That's why I was able to I don't need to go find one. We'll have one going to the Super Bowl if this season really matters. And
yeah, it's a little bit more depressing than I thought you would come up with. I thought you were going to say something about remembering all the good tailgates or something.
Oh, I mean, shoot, man, it was the first super successful year as season ticket holders, right? Last year was a little disappointing. Yeah, we went to the playoffs, but Lamar was hurt, and that kind of stunk. And, we saw the promise, and we thought, okay, they're going to build back, be better. And they did. They were incredible this year. The best team in the NFL. I mean, shoot, even the Chiefs said it, right? The Chiefs said after their victory, we felt real good because we beat the best team in the league, the Ravens. That was they were more proud of that. It almost sounded like the way I was reading it, they were more proud of that than even winning the Super Bowl. I think they almost felt that was inevitable, which is kind of crazy because of how close of a game it was. But in their heads, the Ravens were the team to beat. And we kind of were.
Certainly the most exciting Ravens team to watch since 2019. I feel like, all those seasons since then, it never quite got the machine rolling quite as consistently, quite as well as they did that year. So certainly gives you hope, that they were able to get that dominance back, get that exciting style of football back. And, just got to get past the Chiefs. And I mean, of course, sure, the Bengals are there too. The Bills are there. They'll be back. They'll be a team they'll have to compete with. But I mean, I was thinking about it on the drive home from the office today. We look back at the Ray Lewis led defenses, and a lot of Ravens fans feel like that defense was good enough to be a dynasty, right? Just the offense. And you had some solid offenses, but it just never came to fruition, obviously. But you looked at the AFC there, and I mean, you knew every year. And you just look back at the AFC championships from that year as well. I mean, I think between 2001 and probably 2018, every one of those AFC championships, with the exception of 2002, had at least one of Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, or the Pittsburgh Steelers. You had three teams there that the Ravens were always vying for at the top of the AFC. And right now, it really seems like it's just the Chiefs. I don't. We'll have to see how the Bengals rebound. Have to see how the Bills figure their stuff out. Will the Chargers be something with Harbaugh? But only one team that got to get past. One team, and we'll see. We'll see what they learn from their matchup this year, and just see where it goes from there.
Indeed. Well, hey, that wraps up 2023. Thanks for listening to our shows all throughout that year, and we'll be back. Appreciate you all, and find us on Twitter, X, Threads, etc. at WinningPod, and you can find us on winningpod@gmail.com. Go Ravens!